Hey, what's going on everyone? Daniel Rodriguez here, and it's time to do a spoiler review for Captain America Civil War. This is total spoilers. Spoilers. So make sure you have seen the movie, which of course it's been, 3 days, 2 days, something like that. And it's been out a week or so internationally in different places, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, you're late. You're done. You're fired. You're fired. Get out of here. Just go. We're gonna build a wall. You go past that. So if you haven't seen it, I don't want to know you. Either way, people who have seen it, I'm here to tell you my thoughts on Civil War. Basically, to talk more about the inner depths of what I loved, what I hated. We're gonna go pretty much step by step throughout the movie and the scenes, and talk about more stuff, and maybe I didn't like this, maybe we didn't, what they should have done, what some character should have done, what I liked about the characters, what I didn't like about the characters, all that basically in-depth analysis here. So I have my link down below for my non-spoiler review. It's about 12-13 minutes long, and it's just my non-spoiler review of pros and cons, and basically giving you my final score. And I did give Captain America Civil War a 9.4 out of a 10. As well, I'll put my link down below for my Batman v Superman spoiler review, which is about 46 minutes long. This review will probably be maybe 30 to 50 minutes long, somewhere in between there. So either way, let's get started, man. This is totally unscripted. Basically, I have my notes for my non-spoiler review, but right now I'm about to read a little bit of Wikipedia, and go through the whole movie, and little by little stop and then talk about the characters, talk about what that airport battle scene, and let's get into it, man. Thank you so much for joining me and watching, clicking on my spoiler review, man. So let's get right to it. First off, the movie opens up in 1991. Hydra operatives in Siberia dispatch the brainwashed Bucky Barnes to intercept an automobile carrying a case of super soldier serum and assassinate its occupants. Now, with this opening here, of course, they did that Ant-Man treatment where in the beginning it opens up before it does the Marvel logo and everything, which it was interesting. It was a very interesting concept because, it opens with the Winter Soldier waking up, and of course leading to Howard Stark's death and Tony Stark's mom's death. That was interesting to see, man, because we don't know it's the Starks yet. I didn't even know it was the Starks yet. I've seen this movie 2 times. I plan on seeing it Tuesday for a third time, but it was weird, man. I didn't know that was the Starks. Like, when the first time you're watching it, you're kind of like, alright, like, because the Starks, they're rich as hell, and they're driving that car. Like, in 1991, that was, like, the must-be car or something like that. You're kidding me, right? Because that car didn't look, like, rich and, like, oh my god, that's the Starks car sort of thing. But, that's kind of what took me off. I'm like, that's just some random person holding a bunch of super soldier serum and all that. But it was interesting to see, dude, and I like the way that Winter Soldier uses the bike a lot, and there were cool stunts that, even in present day, that Bucky Barnes uses. With the opening like this, it did kind of feel awkward when he opened the case and he was like, the soldier was like, very good, Barnes. And then he was looking like that, and then it said Marvel Studios. That was sort of it was a little off for me a little bit, and then it did the whole 20-second Marvel logo and everything. So that was kind of in and out for me. But for the opening, it answers itself later. Like, it totally shows all the answers later in the movie, of course. But at first you're like, alright, okay, well, Winter Soldier doing his stuff. So now, approximately 1 year after Ultron's defeat in Sokovia at the hands of the Avengers, Steve Rogers, Natasha Romanoff, Sam Wilson, and Wanda Maximoff stop Brock Rumlow from stealing a biological weapon from a lab in Lagos. Rumlow, or, from just the big first action scene of the movie, dude, watching it in IMAX, and if you've seen it in IMAX, you know how it is, dude. Captain America, when he uses his shield, and even in Winter Soldier, the way the Russo brothers and the Hollywood team in Marvel constructed the set and the choreography, it's so beautifully done, dude. I love the way Captain America uses his shield, just to freaking throws it and it hits the guy in the face, and then he throws him to the wall. He's grabbing guys with one arm and freaking smashing them against the wall, and it's breaking. And I mean, Falcon, dude. The Falcon used the effects in here, and Anthony Mackie. We get to see more Falcon in here. We get to see more Scarlet Witch. We get to know these characters more. We didn't get to know more background behind them, but we get to see more of them, and we see them progress in the cinematic universe every now and then, little by little sort of things. But Falcon, dude, seeing him use his wings and like as a shield and everything, and he curls into a ball, and I didn't even know. Dude, I don't think he could have done that in Winter Soldier, right? In Winter Soldier, he didn't have all those like it could like twist and everything, and he's using it as a shield. He could even block his wings and then do that and like use his drones and all that. Like little things like that, dude, are really, really awesome to see. I love the way that Crossbones looked. I love the Crossbones design. Now, when we're getting into the whole suicide thing that went on there, I was kind of bummed because beside Helmut Zemo was a really good villain for this movie. But with Crossbones, he was a good villain until they throw him away. Another throwaway MCU villain. That was my problem with the beginning of the movie. Now, not where I'm saying it's a, I said it's a great movie. It's one of the great superhero movies of all time. But as that thing, like, killing off Frank Grillo, because Winter Soldier, you drop a building on his face. The next movie, like, 5 movies later, kill him off the first 10 minutes. It was like, really? We went through all that just for him to blow himself up? Come on now, really? I was kind of disappointed and bummed by that, of course. But of course, Rumlow ends up blowing himself up, but when Wanda tries to displace the blast into the sky, it destroys a nearby building, killing a number of Wakandian humanitarian workers. That was something I didn't expect, of course, when Wanda ended up stopping him and bringing him up, and I guess she couldn't hold the power for so long, or whatever was the case, and blew up the building. That was unexpected. I didn't really expect that to happen. And I did feel, I was like, oh, and a lot of people in the theater were like that too, man. So, but it was interesting to see Scarlet Witch take the poison, and Steve Rogers did take a bunch of hits. Remember that fall when he falls down and he hits his chest on the truck and he falls to the ground and everything. It's some intense stuff, man. I will say, all the choreography in this movie is just fantastic. Especially that opening Winter Soldier scene a few years ago when the Russo brothers did the Winter Soldier movie. That action scene of Captain America doing some martial arts and everything. It was just as amazing as what they did with the opening scene here. Now, at the team's headquarters, U.S. Secretary of State General Ross informs the Avengers that the United Nations is preparing to pass the Sokovia Accords. And before this, they show the whole young Tony Stark hologram and everything, and he ends up learning about what was his name, Charlie Spencer's or something, the guy that died in Sokovia. All those scenes happened. When I first saw it, I did find it a little slow. It did kind of bum me out, right? Tony Stark paid for all these kids and everything, or their education, and it just ran a little bit slow at times. But it picked up the second time, and I understood it, because every scene is necessary. Every scene is not like a throwaway scene. Every scene is actually necessary to the storyline, to the universe, man. I mean, it's not. There's no one scene that you could be like, take that away, take that one. That was a waste of time. All of them actually have a meaning back to it. So with this whole thing there, it was interesting, dude. I like the way they aged him back 30 years, dude, because Robert Downey Jr. is 50 years old and they made him look like he was 20 years old, dude. Awesome work, dude. Especially how they did Michael Douglas. That was really cool as well with Ant-Man. But it was a little emotional to see, dude, because the whole, this is the last time you're going to see us, and he's like, I know you did the best, and love you, Dad. And I love how, they probably put dots on Robert Downey Jr., and he did the look and everything, and the stand, and the young Tony Stark, how we would think he would be. The same Tony Stark today, dude. Enough said. I'm sorry I'm saying dude a lot, by the way. Dude. Anyway, I'm not Keanu Reeves, but whatever. So, awesome to see General Ross again, and we'll get into all the characters later, but for sure, having William Hurt in here, it's been since The Incredible Hulk. It's different, it's almost a different little General Ross going on, get your asses in here, where's my daughter, move your asses. You know how William Hurt was on. I love The Incredible Hulk. I think it's one of the good Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Yeah, a little cheesy, and it's not the greatest movie of the MCU, but it's something I could still, if it's on TV, I'll switch it to The Incredible Hulk. I will. I'll watch it. But it's, the whole Soviet Accords and the 117 nations, and all of a sudden Don Cheadle's there, War Machine, which we never saw him in the opening or anything like that. He's suddenly there, and everyone's basically there, which, from my understanding, War Machine is not an Avenger, technically, right? I mean, he wasn't in Age of Ultron. Well, he helped a little bit, right? But it's not like he was like in the first Avengers, or he was like, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't full on like in the front posters of the Avengers sort of thing. So that was kind of they're there and all the background. So anyway, which will establish an international governing body to oversee and control the Avengers. The team is divided. Tony Stark supports oversight because he feels responsible for Ultron's creation and Sokovia's destruction, while Rogers has more faith in his own judgment than the government's. This is where it sort of begins. This is the divide of these characters that we love. We've been around for 4 years, however long. Iron Man's been around for 8 years. Captain America's been around for like 5 years. So we've been around these characters for a long time, man. And seeing this divide, and you kind of get why Tony Stark, this is the whole Ultron creation, and you get his side of things. But in Captain America's side, it's kind of different, you know. I'm Team Cap. I love Captain America. I love all these characters, but if I had to pick, it'd be Captain America. But while watching this movie, I was kind of like, well, should we go to Iron Man's side, or should we... no, Cap side. No, Iron Man's. Like, it kind of went back and forth in a sort of way where you didn't know who you wanted to be with in this movie, man. And for Captain America, for sure, he was a little whiny kid sometimes, because, you know, within the movie, he's always like, well, Bucky Barnes, like, oh, I'm gonna do this for Bucky, and it's for his friend, but he would leave everyone else in the dust, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's doing it because it's his friend. Like, later on in the movie, he's going for Bucky. But what about the people on your team? What happens if they were down? You wouldn't care. You'd still go for Bucky, sort of thing. Like, you wouldn't care would you care if they died? Because you'd be like, I gotta go save Bucky. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, they're old friends and everything. I'm not saying it's the bad thing about the movie, but Team Iron Man basically is different from Team Cap. Different leaders, different sort of roles for their group, I should say. But either way, I should move on now. But at the conference in Vienna, where the Accords are to be ratified, a bomb kills King T'Chaka of Wakanda. Security footage indicates that the bomber is Barnes, who T'Chaka's son, T'Challa, vows to kill. This scene, man, was a very emotional scene, too, where I wanted to drop some tears, of course, with T'Chaka's father ended up being killed. And I love how Chadwick Boseman plays Black Panther. I love the accent, and I love the whole look. He does look like he's a future king, and he is the king now in the movie. He is a really interesting character, and like I said, I like the accent, and he meets Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, and this little thing going on, and like, thank you for welcoming to your country. I'm doing a bad impression, but you know, he's just like, I'm not into the politics. Now I'm just sounding like a Brooklyn guy, but you know how he is, like, I'm not into the politics, and all that sort of good stuff. And then when he saw the bomb stuff, and he's like, everybody get down, and it blows up. That definitely, you could see it coming. You felt it in the air that something was going to go on. Also from the trailers, that room blew up. So it kind of just gives it away that it was going to happen. But it's sad to see his father go, sort of thing, where you saw, you know, that respect from his father to son, and then, you know, I love you, Papa, all that good stuff, and then being dead. So it was a hard scene, dude, for sure. But, you know, the whole Bucky Barnes, you know, but after that he's like, I'm going to kill him. I was like, no, because I'm not taking, like, points away from the movie, but with Scarlett Johansson, like, Natasha Romanoff, did you just say you were going to go kill him? Like, does she know he's Black Panther, or is are you going to use a gun, or, like, you know what I mean? Like, do people know he's Black Panther? No one knows he's Black Panther. So what do you mean I'm gonna kill him myself, and, like, so you're gonna go commit murder, basically, and go, you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't even raise a question, like, what? Wait, what? I mean, now that you're king, I guess you could send people to go kill him, but, you know, like, I'll kill him myself. Like, wait, so you're gonna go commit murder or something like that? Like, you know, she didn't raise no concern or anything like that, of course. So at the conference, okay. So it's tipped off that Bourne's whereabouts are by Sharon Carter, as well as the fact that the government does not plan to take him alive. Roger decides to bring Barnes in alone, Rogers and Wilson track Barnes to his hideout and attempt to protect him from the authorities of T'Challa, but Rogers, Wilson, Barnes, and T'Challa are apprehended. Another great action scene, of course, where we see Winter Soldier and they're in the apartment and he's like, "You know who I am? You're Steve. I read about you in a museum." And the whole fight that goes on there, because this is the first time we get to see Winter Soldier in the film in present day. And Sebastian Stan, dude, and like I said, we get to see Winter Soldier so much more in this movie than we did in The Winter Soldier. Very awesome to see. I love the whole metal arm and his fighting. That stairway scene, Daredevil Season 2 stairway scene, and this stairway scene were just totally awesome. But I still got to give it to Daredevil Season 2 for their fighting scene. But within here, he's like, "Don't kill anybody." And he's like, "Come on, man." And using the shield, and the shield gets stuck in the wall. Like, the whole choreography going at it. And in IMAX, the sound feels real. It sounds like people are getting their bones crunched. It sounds like they're breaking, faces against the wall. So it does feel real. It does feel really intense. Which the sound and the effects and the sound effects are just so perfect. So that was something really awesome there. I did not see that coming when Barnes jumps onto the roof and then Black Panther comes out of nowhere and he's just sort of, and he's doing that. And the suit is so beautiful, dude. I love the design of the suit. It looks so perfect, so well, the eyes and everything. It's badass. I can't wait to see Black Panther, guys. Like the full-on movie by Ryan Coogler, who's directing it. Perfect choice, by the way. But his act, it's almost like I feel like, and I mean this with respect and everything, of course, toward Black Panther, but it's almost the way he fights and everything. I feel like he's like Jets from West Side Story, and he's like, "Do, do, do," and he's like dancing and everything. He's like, "Yeah, yeah," and he's like he does dance moves or something like that, because he twists around in the air, like, and he's moving really fast, like if they sped him up, which is cool. I love the way he fights. He's really quick. He's really cool. The claws and everything, the technology within it, and the vibranium. It's a really cool thing. But the thing is, he literally 69 Bucky. If you watch it, he 69's Bucky. He flips him over, and then he's kind of in a 69 position with Bucky. He really moves pretty quick and everything. It's kind of awkward to say, and he has a lot of agility and everything. It's just really cool to see. But the whole chase, either way, after that, the whole chase going on, when Bucky falls and the cars are coming everywhere and they're stopping and they're running after each other. The weird thing is throughout the whole movie, there's this sort of shaky cam going on. And I wish it could have just stayed still at times. It doesn't happen throughout every scene, but there is a shaky little thing going on with the camera. Within just regular scenes, like in the Lagos, like with Crossbones and everything, a lot of shaky cam going on. And a lot of close-up action looks too, which was kind of annoying. But other than that, when they were running and it showed Bucky run, and then it went to Black Panther, and then it went to Captain America, they're all running so fast. That was really cool. The stunt. This is the stunt I was talking about earlier, where Bucky grabs that motorcycle and he jumps, dude. And when I saw that the second time in theaters, everyone in the theater was like, "What?" And the first time I saw it, some people were like, "Oh yeah, cool." But the second time, the crowd went crazy for it, dude. And I was like, "Yes, finally, someone gets my reaction there." And zoom, and he uses the motorcycle. But that scene too, where Captain America jumps out of the car and the car's sort of rolling around in the background, was sort of like that callback to Age of Ultron, where he's running away from that car too. Excuse me, it's hot in here, by the way. I'm going to be sweating a lot. But definitely when he's running in Age of Ultron from that car, really good callback there, of course. So anyway, they get apprehended, and T'Challa shows himself. He basically reveals he is the Black Panther. So Colonel Helmut Zemo kills Barnes' old Hydra handler and steals a book containing the trigger words that command the Winter Soldier's obedience. He infiltrates the Berlin facility where Barnes is held and recites the words that activates Barnes brainwashing. Barnes is sent on a rampage, but Rogers stops him and sneaks him away. Now, with this whole scene here with Helmut Zemo, which is not Baron Zemo, it's Helmut Zemo, Daniel Bruhl, the first time I saw the movie, I thought he was a throwaway villain. When I walked out of the film, I was like, he was stupid. I knew he had motives. I understood his whole background story with his family getting killed in Sokovia, and I was like, alright, I get why he's doing it, but he was still a throwaway villain. And the second time I saw it, I understood fully. Every scene is really necessary. The whole scene again, him getting the book, and he's like, "You kept your looks, Colonel." Wow, and all that, and he's like, "Hey, the Hydra," and he's drowning in the water and all that. he's one of those villains where he's not like a, I'm Loki, and Loki's an awesome villain, but you know what I mean, like, he's not, like, the Mandarin was a throwaway villain. Malekith was a throwaway villain. Robert Redford was a throwaway villain, really. Ronan the Accuser was a throwaway villain. And Yellow Jacket was a throwaway villain. Crossbones is a throwaway villain. But not Helmut Zemo. Helmut Zemo actually was like, he wasn't like, twirl a mustache, I'm going to kill you. He was more of, I'm going to break them. Like, see, Ultron, you couldn't even do it. He broke them apart. He ripped them apart from the inside out. See, Ultron couldn't even do it, dude, and Helmut Zemo could. And I think Daniel Bruhl was actually a very good pick to actually play him. And I'm glad that Helmut Zemo's not dead, because we will see him probably in Black Panther, or we'll see him in other movies in the future. So that's really cool that Daniel Bruhl will be around for quite a while. So that was really interesting to see. But the whole him reading it to the Winter Soldier, and he's like, stop, no. And he breaks out of there, and he's like, and he's breaking the glass. That was really cool. And that whole fight going on, basically, the helicopter scene, and again, the helicopters, like, it twirls, and like Captain America almost gets decapitated and everything. And then Winter Soldier grabs him from the throat and the chopper, and they fall under the water. And it's sort of that Winter Soldier callback again, where Bucky saved Steve last time. Steve now saves Bucky. So from that on, let me see where we're at. He explains that Zemo is heading for the Siberian Hydra facility where the other Winter Soldiers are kept in cryogenic status. He's not the only Winter Soldier. There are many other Winter Soldiers. But with Helmut Zemo, I saw this meme, and it was pretty funny because it shows Daniel Bruhl just like walking like that, and it says, when she sends nudes, but all you want is the mission report from December 16th, 1991. Yeah, I mean, we find out that was the whole Tony Stark and the Stark family killed, or the Stark parents killed. Definitely all that, where Falcon says, I know a guy, which basically means Ant-Man. We have to go get Ant-Man, we'll have backup there. But that was really interesting to see. I thought that was really cool. It was like the post-credit scene where he's like, Cap, and then he's like, your mom's name is Sarah. You used to wear newspapers in your shoes and all that. And yeah, like that was supposed to be cool and all that, So that was something interesting, of course, to finally see on the big screen. Knowing that they will never catch Zemo in time if they wait for authorization, Roger and Wilson decide to go rogue and recruit Wanda, Clint Barton, and Scott Lang to their cause, convincing Ross to let him bring their renegade comrades in. Starks assembles a team comprised of Romanoff, T'Challa. Have I said T'Chaka, guys? I meant T'Challa, by the way. My bad. Romanoff, T'Challa, James Rhodes, and Vision, as well as a high school student named Peter Parker. Yeah, with that whole thing going on there, when it said Queen, everyone went crazy. I didn't go crazy, of course, but everyone was like, Queen, oh my God, Spider-Man. But it was awesome to see, and I think Tom Holland is the perfect Spider-Man, as well as Peter Parker. He's a really, really good Peter Parker, and we need to see more of Peter Parker, because we only saw maybe less than 8 minutes of him, 7 minutes of him, basically. So we still need to see a little bit more Peter Parker. But for right now, I'm very convinced he is the best Peter Parker and best Spider-Man. Just for that little moment we've had of him. He was Spider-Man. He was Peter Parker. He was that character from the comics. The young kid. Not a 25, 30-year-old. He was an actual young little teenager. Awesome, man. And I love how he gets all the old DVD stuff, and Aunt May, Marissa Tomei. Spacey Meatball. Definitely for sure. She's... Yes. You could expect me to pause a lot when I have the Blu-ray. Yes, you can. But for sure, that whole thing there, where he's like, you're Tony Stark. What are you doing here? And like all that stuff. And he's like, does it have money involved? And he's like, look who you're talking to. And basically, it shows the whole Spider-Man in New York and the effects and him catching a car. And he's like, wow, it must be heavy, right? And he gets his costume and all that stuff. And it was pretty funny. He's like, are you going to move? I'm going to sit here and all that good stuff. So, have you ever been to Berlin? I can't go to Berlin. Why not? Because I have homework. I'm gonna pretend he didn't say that. And I'm glad that Robert Downey Jr. signed on to Spider-Man: Homecoming because they have such good chemistry. Their chemistry went like that, dude. So it beat by beat was so perfect with that. I gotta be honest, man. So either way, that happens, and of course they recruit Scott Lang. Of course, like, oh my God, you're Captain America. I'm shaking your hand a little bit too long. It's Captain America, and I know you. You're really good too. All that good stuff. So it's good, you know. And everyone laughed when it was Paul Rudd because, you know, maybe some people don't know. I'm assuming people know, but when you see Scott Lang and you remember, like, people who don't pay attention to Marvel Cinematic Universe and they go to every superhero movie but they don't pay attention, there's some people out there that really don't look it up and mark it on their calendar. So when the moviegoers go, or like people that go every now and then, hey, last movie I saw was Ant-Man. It's Ant-Man. Oh my God, like, it, you know, oh cool, he's in here. So it was interesting to see, you know, and he was funny and everything. So they're all together, right? So, okay, so Stark and his team intercept Rogers' team at the airport where they fight. Romanoff allows Rogers and Barnes to escape. The rest of Rogers' team is captured and detained at the Raft prison, while Rhodes is partially paralyzed after being accidentally shot down by Vision. Okay, now going into this, actually, the whole airport scene, and this is where I'm going to talk about each and every character. The airport scene is one of the best, if not the best, superhero action scene I've ever seen. It's like 15 to 20 minutes of action. And this is the first time we see Iron Man in his suit. This is the first time we finally see him in the suit, donning the Iron Man suit, and he's kicking ass, dude. A lot of cool things. I'm just going to go by the poster that I have. It's a Captain America Civil War poster, and I'll go by each character. But first off, let me tell you the three characters that stole the show. Really the two characters, but the three characters that stole the show. My favorite person in the airport scene? Giant Man. They did it. Giant Man. You don't know how excited I am. I'm seriously, like, I heard about the Lego set and everything, but I'm like, sometimes Lego sets don't do what the movie really does, or you know what I mean? Like, sometimes they don't follow up to it. But when he was like, I got something big, guys. If I tear myself apart, don't come back for me and all that stuff. And Winter Soldier's like, he's gonna tear himself apart? And when he turns big and he's holding on to Rhodes and he's like, and Spider-Man's like, holy shit! I wanted to burst out into tears. I was like, Giant Man, holy shit! I was loud in the theater, dude. I was like, everyone else was excited too, but you don't understand, like, finally seeing it happen on the big screen and the way they did it and the effects and the look. And he was like, and he's holding Rhodes. Give me back my roadie. And he throws it and everything. And I love how when Black Panther like looks and he's like, you want to get through them? You have to go through me. And all that. And with Vision, he's like, somebody just flew inside me. You know, all that cool stuff. He's like, get off. And Peter Parker's like, Spider-Man. Pure funny. And also when Ant-Man was like, here, throw this at this. Oh my God, I thought it was a water truck. I believe this belongs to you, Captain America. Pure gold, guys, pure gold. Okay. Second was Spider-Man. The way Tom Holland played Spider-Man in here, so perfect. And the way he went on the glass and he was crawling like a spider and everything. And you have a metal arm? That's so awesome. And hey buddy, I think this is yours. Everybody he was perfect. He stole the show a lot. So Giant Man and Spider-Man were the most amazing things about this movie. I personally love Spider-Man, and I hope to see Giant Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp as well. That was really cool. Does anybody have more slices? Next, like the third person was Black Panther. When Clint's like, I don't think we've officially met. I'm Clint. I don't care. And I love when the arrows are like, and he's just like, it explodes in his face, but it's not affected by it. That was really awesome to see as well. Now, going on to the characters that the airport battle scene, little by little, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Now, Iron Man definitely had a few good shots in the battle, for sure. But more of the final battle is where Tony Stark really shines. But for, Scarlet Witch sent all the cars onto Iron Man and everything, so that was something. Iron Man was he was in there a little bit every now and then. It was cool when they took down Giant Man, when him and Rhodes were like, and he hits them. Next up, of course, Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. She was good in the movie. She wasn't great in the movie or anything like that, but she was good enough for the stunts and the action and, adding a little, she turned to go to Team Cap and all that, so that was pretty cool. Especially how she used the Widow's Bite more and more within the movie. Next, like I said, Black Panther, you already know he's amazing. Chadwick Boseman's the man to go. Paul Bettany as the Vision. Very overpowered in this movie, but you were afraid of him. I was afraid of him, and he's a fictional he's a fictional character. He's not real, and I'm scared of this guy. So for sure, he plays it very well. But in the airport scene, we get to see him do a little bit. We don't get to see him do much, honestly. And he does his little going through people every now and then, but he's pretty scary in this movie at times. Don Cheadle as Rhodes, War Machine. He did some cool things. I mean, him fighting Giant Man, little things like that. So it was cool to see, but War Machine, so he does sort of the same thing every now and then. But it was interesting to see when the airport battle scene. Captain America had some awesome shots in there. Him fighting Spider-Man and doing the S.H.I.E.L.D. and the hand-to-hand combat every now and then was awesome. Ant-Man being on the Captain America shield, and Spider-Man's like, hey, somebody's on here. Falling down. So really cool things too. Sebastian Stan, Winter Soldier, had a few cool action scenes. Him in the movie, him and Falcon are one of the funniest comedic duos, and they should do more scenes in the next Captain America, or next anything that has Bucky and Falcon. But sadly, Bucky went under again, so now I don't know. He didn't even say Falcon goodbye. I hate you. All that stuff. I love Hawkeye in this movie. I honestly think it's my favorite Hawkeye yet, as in the way he was interpreted or shown on the screen. So I enjoy Jeremy Renner, and he was a little bit more badass, a little bit more intense or realistic as could be. I'm disappointing my kids. And like I said, Scarlet Witch. I wouldn't mind. I would love to actually see a Scarlet Witch movie. I wouldn't mind seeing a Scarlet Witch movie. She's really, really. Elizabeth Olsen is really good as Scarlet Witch. She's really awesome in here. Either way, the fight is so amazing. But they all go to the Rift prison, and Rhodes is paralyzed. Of course, that whole scene there. He's like, Rhodes, and Falcon's like, I'm sorry, man, and Tony shoots him and all that stuff. There's also a scene early in the film, remember when he's like, oh, that's Charles Spencer, by the way. He died in Sokovia while we were kicking ass. And I laughed at that, dude, because, some people probably wouldn't laugh at that because he's talking about a person's death. Mind you, the guy's a fictional character, so obviously the guy's not dead. But the thing is, he was like, kicking ass and all. It's just the way he said it, because it was true. They were kicking ass back there. Either way, Stark finds evidence that Barnes was framed by Zemo and shows the evidence to Wilson, who gives him Roger's destination. Without informing Ross, Stark goes to the Siberian Hydra facility and strikes a truce with Rogers and Barnes. Unaware he was secretly followed by T'Challa, they discover that the other Winter Soldiers had been killed by Zemo, whose real goal was to access Hydra's archives and show Stark's footage, providing it was Stark's parents whose mom killed in 1991. That scene definitely, in them infiltrating the whole facility, Zemo killing the other Winter Soldiers, all that good stuff. But, man, that scene where Stark was like, what is this? I know that road. And looking at it, and when Howard Stark came out, and he came out of the car, and he was like, Sergeant Barnes? I don't know what to say, dude, with that scene. It was emotional. It was so many things. So many things. And basically, Bucky's sort of like, And after that, he's like, did you know about this? And after that, boom, and a full action scene goes on, dude. Basically, Zemo's broken the Avengers permanently now, for, as what time can tell. So anyway, where we at now? I can't see. Where we at now? Okay. Anyway, he's enraged. Stark turns on Barnes. In the fight, Stark blasts off Barnes' robotic arm, and Rogers disables Stark's armor. Yeah, that whole thing there. And the full final battle was really crazy. I love the choreography. I love the look. Team Cap's winning. Team Iron Man's winning. Team Cap's winning. And that scene, dude, where he has the shield, and he literally where Iron Man does the, and he has his shield, and he's like, and they're doing their knees and bending it and all that, like the Civil War, like issue 7 comic cover. That was so perfect. I love the way that they ended up like showing that in the movie. So anyway, okay, well, Zemo is Sokovian and wants to punish the Avengers for the death of his family. All that. Rogers departs with Barnes and leaves his shield behind. Satisfied that he is irreparably fractured the Avengers, Zemo attempts suicide, but T'Challa apprehends him. In the aftermath, Stark provides Rhodes with a leg brace to let him walk again, while Rogers breaks his comrades out of the raft. Good ending. It was a good ending. I liked it a lot, where he broke Scott Lang out and all those people. So it was interesting to see, especially earlier when Stark went to the raft and he ended up like pressing that button and all the armor in the Iron Man suit came on him. That was really cool as well. Trying to make this a little bit more shorter. In the mid-credits scene, Barnes chooses to return to cryogenic sleep until a cure for his brainwashing is found in Wakanda, where T'Challa has granted him and Rogers asylum. In a post-credits scene, Parker is recovering from his injuries from his web shooters projected a Spider-Man symbol on his bedroom ceiling. So pretty self-explanatory, like let them try, and it shows the Black Panther, which is a really cool mid-credit scene, and then it shows Spider-Man, says Spider-Man will return, and everyone was like, yeah, all right, okay, no shit, Spider-Man will return in this cinematic universe. But other than that, a great film. I think we've gone most in depth. I don't think we need to really go any more. It was amazing. Let me just give you a rundown of the pros and cons real quick, and here we go. So first off, the pros: the action, Black Panther, Spider-Man, the effects, the Winter Soldier. It's intense. The choreography, the airport scene. It was funny. Had a lot of cool funny scenes, and the pacing of it. Zemo, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. The opening, the sound effects, the ending, Hawkeye and his look, the final battle, the music, Falcon and Bucky, the stunts and Vision. A lot of amazing things happen in this movie, and it's truly a masterpiece in its own. It has problems. There are problems within this movie, and the throwaway villain and sort of things like that. But I like how Zemo's still alive, how they have him. Martin Freeman was in this movie. He did an awesome American accent. So there's many great things to look at within this movie. Not that many bad scenes in here. Other than that, sometimes it was not emotional. Like Peggy Carter's funeral. I forgot to mention that. Peggy Carter's funeral and Agent Carter, like Agent Sharon Carter, whatever. Those, like, the whole forced relationship with Captain America didn't work. That whole Sharon Carter stuff didn't work for me. And also Peggy Carter's funeral, I thought it was going to be more emotional. It should have been more sad. It should have been more of that. And it wasn't. But it is sad to see Agent Carter go. But, come on. Haley Atwell, dude. Yes, beautiful baby. Vision was weird at times. I will say Vision, not just because he's wearing a sweater and shit like that. He was a little weird how they used him in this movie. Really weird at the time. Not much Scott Lang. They underused Scott Lang. There are a few plot holes, of course, within it. You could tell there are a few little things that are missing within the plot. And armor effects sometimes, just some of the effects that went on when he was walking. And, you could tell it was like 95% of it was amazing how they used the CGI and the effects. And then 5% was little noticeable little things, green screens and all that sort of stuff. Either way, I'm going to be giving Captain America Civil War a 9.4 out of a 10, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the spoiler review. Again, check out the Batman v Superman one if you feel like it. And check out my non-spoiler review for Civil War as well. A great movie, one of the greatest superhero movies to ever be on the big screen, guys. The Russo brothers have done it again. I can't wait to see what they do with Infinity War. in a few years, man. Very excited. The next Marvel Cinematic Universe, which will be the 14th installment into the universe, will be Doctor Strange, which actually opens up November 4th, 2016, yeah. So November 4th, we're many months away. We gotta wait many months to finally see Doctor Strange. But I'm ready. I'm ready, guys. That will be the next thing in the universe, so we'll see what goes on with Doctor Strange. My next big spoiler review that I will be doing will be for X-Men Apocalypse, which is the next superhero film to be, you know, first it was Deadpool, great film. Then it was Batman v Superman. It was a great superhero film, but as a film itself, like just a directing and writing and a plot, that was shitty. It was a shitty film, and it makes me want to see Civil War more than Batman v Superman. And it kind of makes me worry for the DC universe, but Suicide Squad looks amazing, of course, for Squad a little there. Yeah. But with Batman v Superman, it was a great superhero film, but as a film, but then we have Captain America Civil War. Great. Fantastic. Spectacular. After that, we have X-Men Apocalypse. In August, we have Suicide Squad. And in November, we have Doctor Strange. 3 more superhero movies out of the year. 3 down, 3 to go. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope all of you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and share the video. And hit that subscribe button for more. Until next time, comment down below again, guys. Tell me what you guys thought about my spoiler review and what you liked and what what's your rating out of a 10. Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? All the good stuff. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.